come from a long line of teachers, policemen, farmers, and moonshine makers. My grandfather was a moonshiner, and he loaned money for a living. And this was a result of picking cotton all day long and only to be given 99 cents for a day's work. Once I started studying Black history in undergrad, I realized that I was a small part of a larger element. It was during the 60s that I was heavily influenced by Malcolm X and a member of the Nation of Islam. After he was assassinated, it was one of the turning points of my life as a young person. I decided to enter the military, initially as a National Guardsman, which I stayed as a National Guardsman for about 4 years, and then I rolled over to regular Army and stayed in the regular Army for 11 years after that.
We'll just do an echo on that real quick. Mm-hmm. Real quick, and then we'll get you.
When I was a child, primarily I heard records that were created by comedians. Moms Mabley, Pigmeat Martin, Red Fox, classic comedians, and that also introduced me to the Apollo Theater, where I would go to the Apollo Theater as a young person to see these people perform. It was like, I mean, just really just something else. And I think that on the instrumental side, as far as music was concerned, my mother, when she graduated, she was allowed to take a picture with Count Basie, I believe, and his entire band. And I always remembered that. And she would listen to artists like Jackie Wilson, Clyde McFadden.
But like, if you do yours, and I'll show you.
I was being introduced to rock, Latin, funk, old school, new school, real instrument playing and things of that nature. And boy, I was having an American experience. That's what I am. I'm an American. My music represents being an American. It's an infusion of all kinds of sounds, from classical music to the funk to the spoken word, you name it. There are no limits with the music. Music is really infinite anyway. He thought he was the man. I know you dipping, tripping, doing a lot of flipping. Can't tell you nothing cause somebody say you pimping. You on the back 40, getting real naughty, and someone loan you what? 2 shorties, come here you young fool. I gotta take you to the old school, show you some fresh moves, get you back in the real groove, and you can call me Smooth. Hey. I'm keeping a style of so-called African-American music alive by doing jokes, lies, and stories, and calling it jokes, lies, and stories, as opposed to letting the industry name it.
Yeah.
Because who started calling rap rap?
Yeah. You calling it jokes, lies, and stories connects it to a past in a way that most so-called rap music is disconnected. You know, not to down it, but you don't feel that same connection.
It became obvious to me that music was one of the most non-toxic elements of my life that influenced me in a positive way. I began to play more and more percussion instruments. I gravitated towards certain artists like Willie Bobo, Ray Barretta, who was a conga player extraordinaire, made an album titled Acid that was like the ultimate to me when I was younger. And I, right on Freeman Street, there was a place called the Hunts Point Palace. and I don't know if it's still there, but that's where a lot of Latin artists
We'll do a
would
quick
perform.
because you didn't finish the second verse, right?
No.
So we'll do.
Well, the second verse is no. I didn't finish the second verse.
You got the first verse
I
done.
got the first verse.
Okay.
And the
Style that I use that I'm trying to keep alive, the big title of it is spoken word, and my version of the spoken word is called Jokes, Lies, and Stories. Then there's another version of the spoken word that's called hip hop. There's another version that's called rap. Artists that probably think in a different manner, like I do, and realize how music can influence society, should take a stand and do their music as opposed to just doing music that someone else wants to sell. Jokes, Lies, and Stories was a way of sharing hidden information about how to escape and all kind of what was going on and things of that nature. I picked it up from Oscar Brown Jr. Like when I heard Oscar Brown Jr. and I read it in Zora Neale Hurston's book, it really legitimized.
Stop fronting, right?
Yo, yeah, man. Stop front.
Okay. Oh, yeah, pull the lyrics up.
Right.
You can be interesting, you can be cool, you can be all these things without necessarily having to force it into violence and drugs and all these things.
Yeah, right.
Especially if that's not your real life. You know, I don't know if you listen to Scarface ever, but Scarface has a song called "I Never Seen a Man Cry Till I Seen a Man Die."
Right.
And that's when you hear songs like that, you hear a real person from the streets who's been through some things.
But you would hope that somewhere down the line that artists would realize the impact that they could actually have on society, man. They could actually shape society based on what they're saying in a 3-minute tune.
And I've had conversations with especially young artists, talking AKs, and the rationale is, well, that's what people want to hear. But
Who told you that?
who told you exactly? And that's when it starts to get like, okay, then we just start in a cycle. Okay, you're giving them that, and they like it, and then they tell you to do more, and then it's just a cycle. It's like, why do you have to feed into that?
Don't. That part,
Yeah.
you need to bring that up.
Okay, cool.
Because that's where the stop fronting piece is at.
So I'm trying to put things in my music. He thought he was the man.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that you're not the man.
Yeah.
You know, you're not the man. The man, you never see the man.
Yeah.
Okay?
And that's from starting in the Sugar Hill Gang, 70s.
Right.
And I'm not mad at that, because
Me neither.
at the end of the day, you're trying to show off, you want to be the focal point. Once you start making it cool to talk about drugs, being violent, so now you got a 13-year-old, 14-year-old listening to that music, thinking that the cool thing to do is to pick up the gun, and then they make their life choices based on this false persona.
This is America. You have the right, freedom of speech, and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right. I would hope that someone would have something to say to me that could help me move forward.
Yeah.
And that's what Jokes, Lies. That's why I stick to calling my style Jokes, Lies, and Stories, because Jokes, Lies, and Stories was based on delivering messages in the music to lead you to freedom.
There has to be some balance of reality and facts and real life experience that's shared in the music. And I think we're getting back to that slowly but surely with certain artists.
My tracks now are sounding a little bit different. The years of just going over and seeing how I'm using loops and things of that nature, that kind of stuff, I'm getting real proficient at it, where I can almost create the sound that I want.
It was out of necessity.
Oh,
It was out of like,
Yeah.
I want to do this music. But then you said, look, I can do all this stuff on my computer as much as I
Yes.
can.
Okay. You may start out selling music to a kid. And that kid, through their life circumstances and everything, they get older and more mature. And their ears change. You know, that's how Erykah Badu and a host of other artists were able to come into play, because that crowd that started off with them became more mature, intelligent, aware, however you want to put it. And so it demanded the artist to put out a better quality of music. Even if they were talking about some of the same things, you had to say it in a way with a whole lot more finesse to it.
People are demanding more reality because the talk about violence and drugs had just gotten so, it's like sci-fi now.
Right.
They talk these crazy guns, these kilos and whatever of, you know.
They really don't know what they're talking about. I just want to show you what a veteran showed me. So when these guys are out here talking about what they did with their little pistols and stuff to another brother, you know, I mean, they already got a problem with the police and the government and everybody else.
But check this out. Welcome to the battle zone. If you're looking for a thrill, you better leave me alone. I'll suck your brain like a chicken bone. Set you on fire, turn your rhymes to foam. Usually I take them like 2 by 2, but I heard this thing between me and you. You say your name is Rapper Who? And you related to Winnie the Pooh. I really don't want to call you out your name, but this might not be the year for your game. Do you want the money or the fame? Cause all your little G's are sounding the same. Telling everybody that you really need a check. Does your baby mama need a nail in the weed set? Man to man, G, let's make a bet. You don't even know if that's your baby yet. Walk around here with the gangster lean. If you knew your daddy, you wouldn't be so mean. Constantly moving from bone to bone. You know history and not your own. Coming out here with the okey doke. That's all, folks. If you really want to make me take it back to school, wait a minute while I change the groove.
Music is in us as human beings. We react to music.
That's right.
The industry has built around this want for music. As much as it tries and it has an effect on the music, I don't think the industry has more power than the music.
You wanna be baller, shot caller, mauler, even taller, better watch your back.
You hear that? I was alright.
They wanna be this, they wanna be that. You are what you are, and that's a fact. Just wanna be baller, shot caller, mauler, even taller, better watch your back.
I like that feeling, but just give it a little more energy and you got it.
So basically he goes through each track to make each instrument sound its best. So that's how we develop. So the track actually has to be developed. He'll take all the weaknesses out of it, make sure it's strong and that kind of stuff, and give me a nice foundation to say my spoken word on. And I was riding on a motorcycle one night with a friend of mine, and we rode on this dirt path, and we came to this cliff at the end of the road, and we looked over the cliff, and I saw a hole dug in the ground, and it looked like a salad bowl with but the salad was made out of people. It was just nothing but people in this hole in the ground. And I said, wow, what in the world is this? As I looked over to the right of me, there was a fence that had been put up, but there was a big hole in the fence, and people were coming through the hole in the fence, and the highway that was outside was just jammed with nothing but cars that couldn't move because, you know, no one was moving. Then I realized where I was, and I was at Woodstock. That was really held in Bethel, New York, because the town of Woodstock did not want that kind of festival there, so they moved it to Bethel, New York, and that dirt road that I had been driving down on the motorcycle ended up being Yasgod's farm, and that's where Woodstock was held. And it took me about 4 days to get out of Woodstock once I was introduced to it. I don't know what the problem was, but I know that I just didn't go in and come out.
4 blocks, 8 buildings, 16 apartments, 25 levels, got the loud and the raw. Like the garbage man, they keep coming back for more. Snow bunnies left the sniffer right off the floor. Crack the shotty if they knocking on the door. Basics with money I can't ignore. Hard or soft is just so pure. The price is 6, but I can let it go for 4.
tweaking bipolar reasons. What you see in number demons, money's for the leasing. It's hard out here, not having to work. My mind's not clear, I'm turning to dirt. Go to assemble, I'm trapped in. My thermometer hit its max pitch to Jackson. Street makes a color to Jackson. Yes, this is madness. Heads be clashing, misunderstood like a bandit. What? Who trapping? In the project building, rolling up, throwing guts on the floor, ready for the smoke to make my mind erupt. Watched by the nosy police, cameras rolling slowly.
Of the beast, and it's looking to the east. You in the belly of the beast, and you're looking at no jobs, big cars. Everybody's hero's a movie star. Don't say I never told you so. That ain't the way you wanna go. Be yourself, catch your breath, look out for your health. You got that, you got wealth, 'cause on Judgment Day you gonna be by yourself, and it's gonna be most deaf. What do you mean you didn't know this was a test? Otherwise you would have done your best. You went down for some secondhand deal just to bust a thrill. How you feel?